She told me to step out of the photo. Not in a whisper, not in secret. She said it in front of everyone, with that soft smile she used when she wanted to seem kind while cutting you open. You don't match. Just let us take one with the real family first. I was 14. My feet were in the wet grass. My dress was wrinkled from the car ride, and I was holding the frame I made her for Mother's Day. I stepped aside. I smiled so they wouldn't see me break. And when the shutter clicked, I disappeared. It wasn't always like that. When I was younger, she used to braid my hair so tight it made my eyes water, saying it would make me look tidier, less wild. She called it love. I called it strangulation in slow motion. My brother Josh was golden, blonde like her, dimples like our father. I was dark, from the other side. She said that part she regretted but couldn't erase. After Dad left, she rewrote the story. Suddenly, I wasn't just the odd one out. I was the reason everything had fallen apart. Her moods changed. Her words got sharper. She'd smile in front of guests, then whisper venom through clenched teeth once the door closed. And then came Marcus, the man who moved in 6 months after Dad moved out. He wore cashmere and cologne and always brought Josh gifts, video games, sneakers, trips to amusement parks. He brought me silence, maybe a nod. Once, a cold stare when I tried to speak during dinner. I stopped trying. It wasn't until my 17th birthday that I saw it. The truth came in the form of a photo buried in a locked drawer behind a stack of bank papers. An ultrasound. My name, but a different birth date, different blood type, and a word scrawled in her handwriting. Adopted. My hands didn't shake. I wish they had. It would have meant I was still hoping. But something colder set in. I wasn't a daughter. I was a placeholder. A shadow she kept around out of obligation or guilt. And Marcus, he wasn't just her boyfriend. He was my biological father. I stared at the papers for 5 full minutes. Then I placed them back carefully, silently, and I started planning. I didn't lash out. That's what she would have expected. No shouting, no tears. Instead, I studied. I graduated early, got into law school with scholarships she didn't even know I applied for. While she bragged about Josh's soccer trophies, I interned under lawyers who specialized in estate restructuring and guardianship law. And when Marcus suddenly had a health scare, mild stroke, nothing dramatic, I offered to help. Told him I wanted to reconnect. He welcomed it. Guilt is a useful tool. Over 2 years, I learned everything. How he had quietly taken over my mother's finances. How she signed power of attorney when she thought it meant luxury. How the house, the investments, even Josh's college fund were under his name now. I became his assistant, his confidant, his good daughter. It was almost too easy. I didn't touch the documents until the timing was perfect. Marcus trusted me enough to let me draft paperwork. One signature here, another there. Quiet shifts in account beneficiaries, healthcare directives, a new will that named me executor. He thought I was protecting him. He had no idea I was preparing his confession. When I revealed the truth, I did it in her kitchen. The same spot where she used to cut apples and tell Josh I was too sensitive. Marcus sat at the head of the table, fragile now, slower. Josh stood in the corner, confused. And she held her wine glass like a shield. I laid out the documents, the DNA test, the adoption record, the revised will. You lied to him, I said quietly, eyes locked on hers. You kept me a secret from my own father. Her mouth opened, closed. For the first time, she didn't know which face to wear. And now, I continued, sliding the final paper across the table, you're no longer entitled to anything that belongs to him or me. She lunged for the papers. Marcus stopped her. I asked for the truth years ago, I said. You told me I didn't match. You were right. I don't. I never did. It unraveled fast after that. The house, legally his, left to me in his will. Her name was on nothing. Josh's tuition reassigned. I didn't ruin his life, but I made sure he'd have to build it without her lies. She tried to fight it, of course. But she underestimated silence. How powerful it is when wielded by someone who watched every move for a decade and said nothing. Now she watches me at family court, at inheritance hearings. She doesn't speak much anymore. I see the moment in her eyes when she realizes I became everything she feared, not because I was broken, but because I waited. She made me step out of the photo. So I built the frame myself and I filled it with the truth. Now she's on the outside, watching. And I don't cry anymore.